Everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with all of you a stock that is ready to rebound within the next few days and why you should keep it on your watch list. And I'm going to be answering some of you guys' questions like we always do here on this channel right after the intro. Alright, y'all, before we begin again, do not forget to annihilate the like button on your way in. And also don't forget to subscribe if you are new to the channel, alright? So let's get started right off the bat. Friday was a pretty nasty day. This move right here was a bit unexpected. I did not expect this move at all. Very nasty. It opened up at around like 46.37 and then immediately dumped all the way down to 45.80. Right now, I think that we're going to retest these levels right over here into the open at around like 47.17 before we see some more money go into the market and push it a little bit higher up and for this bullish trend to continue. I was a bit cautious on the SPY, especially on Friday, because when I make my decision, I look at every other indices. Now, for example, we're gonna take a look at QQQ, which is pretty much Nasdaq. And if you check out Nasdaq right here, actually, if you check it out on the 1 hour, you can clearly see that there is a bear flag on there. It is quite clean, but it is very clean. And this is, again, clean for short sellers, right? So for those individuals who got in short right here and they're seeing this thing in the morning, this is not a good look. This is definitely not a good sign at all. Ideally, what we want to see, especially for a bear flag, is for this thing, and this is what I expected. I expected this thing to just go in here and then immediately dump out the gates and open up at around like 385, which corresponds quite nicely to these previous highs right here, right? This previous level of support. That right there is a clear and obvious immediate buy, all right? But now that we're seeing this, I think we're just gonna go sideways over here and then eventually move up towards 405 for QQQ. And the same thing applies for /ES, which is the SPY, all right? I'm not bearish on this one. I think we're gonna pull off this move right here and just continue higher towards 46.80 later on during the week. Now, the stock that all of you should be keeping on your watch list for this week, that stock is ROKU. All right, and in regards to ROKU, the reason why I want to share this one with all of you is because of this. If you check out the daily time frame, all right, on the daily time frame, we can see that it got annihilated by, like, let's see, from 490 all the way down to 222. That's a 55% drop on a ROKU, all right? And right now, if you look closely at this this combination right here, let me just move up the chart, all right? You can clearly see that there's some buyers who stepped in on that hammer. This hammer is really bullish, especially after this drop. And another thing that y'all want to consider as well is this gap that was left open. And as I tell y'all, and as I told you on previous videos, 90 to 95% of all gaps get filled at some points in time, all right? And given the fact that QQQ is actually up and that Nasdaq is up right now, we can expect ROKU to open up at around like 240 and then start making its way all the way up towards 255 at first and then eventually towards 270 later on this week. All right, so definitely keep ROKU on your watch list. And there was also some like news about Cathie Wood also purchasing some ROKU at these lows as it was dipping. So definitely watch this one for a turnaround. Now let's talk about you guys' stocks of interest. For those of y'all who dropped those in the comment section, the first one that we're going to address, that one is AMAT. All right. And in regards to AMAT, I was watching this one for a while. The reason why I was watching it is because of the flag on here. All right, there's a flag on the chart. It's quite clean. It broke out nicely. I think this was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. There was some money to be made over here. It had earnings. All right, it had earnings, and unfortunately, the reaction to earnings was not so favorable for the stock, and the stock immediately tanked all the way down towards. It actually dropped to 145 after hours on that day, and then opened up at 150, retested 153, and then immediately went all the way down towards that previous level of supports. I think we bounce. I think that this thing is gonna open up at exactly like 145, and then start running all the way back up to 150 again, and then we can see this type of movement. This type of movement right over here on AMAT within the next few days. All right, definitely this is the place where you want to like a starter position, because the risk is pretty much like if it goes down just a little bit lower, then you can be sure that this thing is not going to bounce anytime soon, right? But given the fact that the market is about to open up like higher, and also the Dow is higher, and this stock is also in the Dow, we can expect that this one is going to open up higher at 145, and then more money is going to flood into the market, and I expect it at 150 within like 2 weeks. So this is definitely a good one to watch for sure. The next one that we're going to address in this video, that stock is CMCSA. All right, and Comcast Corporation. Now, in regards to this stock, got demolished since September. It's been on the downtrend. It's been quite choppy, very irritating to trade. The volume is not so terrible, about 20 million in volume. Some opportunities to be made on both sides, actually, towards the short side and again over here. What I'm seeing on the chart right now, I'm seeing a potential reverse head and shoulders. There's the left shoulder right here on the chart. There's the head right here, which formed through earnings, followed by the right shoulder, and which is right over here. All right, so watch this one for a move starting tomorrow at like 51.80, maybe $52 right over here, and then for a move like this all the way up towards $54 right there. Now, whether we break that line, we will have to see, depending on whether there's more money to be made or whether they announce some type of news on that day, either late this week or early next week. We may see this thing push up to like $56. All right, but watch this stock at these levels. It's quite interesting, and I think there's a good chance it might be clean, so definitely watch this one. Now, the next one that we're going to discuss in this video, we're going to talk about QCOM, Qualcomm, which I told you guys that this one was a shorting opportunity. I didn't like the way it was consolidating over here, and in that video I told you that it was for a day trade only. So the day trade that we took was like right over here. It was right here. It was a very simple day trade right there. All right, this was what I was talking about in the video, this range right over here. It dipped down lower, especially given the Friday sell-off, right? But as of right now, the way it's looking, I think it's just going to consolidate sideways. I think that we're just gonna move towards 145 and just trade in this range for quite some time. All right, I'm not trading the stock at all, definitely not, because I don't know exactly which way it's gonna go. Yes, the gap is the gap is there still. We'll see how this one opens up, but I do think that it's gonna chill in here first, and then eventually it's gonna roll over. All right, now the next one that I'm going to be doing an update on, that one was McDonald's. Quite irritating, especially on Friday. I've seen another stock do this, where especially when there is a market sell-off on a random day like Friday, it looks quite clean, it's behaving quite nicely, and then there is the dump, right? The whole market collapse, just to see the stock do this, open up a little higher at like 153, move on to here, and then continue on to its trajectory towards 260. Right. So in regards to this stock, I'm not too heavy on it. I'm not heavy at all. Like, I still have calls on this one. And the fact that the market jumped up is actually a good sign for McDonald's. So I'm anticipating a gap up towards 153, which was pretty much the opening of this candle right here, followed by this move. Pretty much what I've drawn over here. We'll see how this one unfolds. All right. That's my very honest opinion on that stock. There is one more that I wanted to touch on. That one is Starbucks. And regarding Starbucks, I think it is actually at a good spot. I think it is at a good spot for a buy, for a dip buy at least. Let me change it to the 1 hour and let me see. Yeah, so this right here is what I noticed on Starbucks right over here. You see that level of support right here. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3. All right, and we got 4. Usually the way it goes is the more a level is tested, the more likely it's going to break, right? But you want to watch out for that. You want to watch out because it could break. Like, it could do a little something like this and then immediately don't. Like, it could do that. I don't think it will. I really don't think it will. I don't think so. I don't think we're gonna see something like nasty like that. No, I think we're going to like trade sideways a little bit more towards 112, and then we're gonna run towards 116. This is highly unlikely. I don't think so. I don't think this will happen. No. So that's my very honest opinion on Starbucks, and that is the end of the video. Again, do not forget to annihilate the like button for the YouTube algorithm. As always, it helps the channel a lot. It allows more people to get this knowledge as well. Also, if you are new to the channel, definitely click on subscribe and click on the notification bell along with all notifications. That way you don't miss out on future uploads. If you'd like to be part of a private Discord community, you can find that as the very first link in the description of the video below. If you're not following us on social media, you can find me at Paul Nguma and at PATTERNOLOGY LAB on Instagram and on Twitter. And lastly, if all of this is brand new to you, if you're interested in getting started in the stock market, there's very basic step-by-step directions in the description of the video below. Step 1 to step 3. It only takes about 15 minutes or less for you to get signed up with all the tools you need to start trading immediately. You can also get 2 free stocks right after signing up with Webull using the third link in the description of the video below. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Nguma with PATTERNOLOGY LAB, where we trade patterns only. And I will see all of you in the next video, alright? Enjoy the outro.